Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is a personal reading for another person who's taking advantage of the last 2 days of my 11/11 special for my personal reads. This person wanted a twin flame reading. So if you actually reached out recently and you wanted a twin flame reading, then wait until I send you the link, because I'm going to be uploading like 10, I don't even know, like 10 twin flame reads today. So I have a lot of them, and so you might get confused and think that one is yours. If you're led to watch another one, then definitely do that, But these are all going to be very unique and specific to each person. I'm tapping into your energy, so just be aware. Wait till I send you the link. I know some of you guys are really anxious, but it takes a while to upload these sometimes. So let's do this, okay? This is a love reading or twin flame reading, soulmate reading, whatever your viewpoint philosophy thing is. I'm tapping into your energy, and we're going to figure some stuff out here and see how you guys can kind of move forward. And I'm going to help you find some peace in this situation. So let's see. What's the joined energy between you guys? Lots of water. So it's very emotional right now. Very, very emotional. I'm kind of feeling like this has been a really intense moon cycle for each of you guys. That ever since that eclipse we had like a week or so ago, things have changed. Now, there's a lot more energy and a lot more motion. I feel like this anticipation here, traveling. It's like one or both of you guys wants to move or travel or go somewhere, get out. Be free, That's joined energy for sure. That's what this card means. But when I see this one, you see here in the water, there's like this egg. So it's talking about like this birth, like something that's incubating right now. And when I also see this card, the way that you view this card, it's like you're standing at a bank and you're looking across at this island. And on this island, this is like fertility, inner strength, creativity, abundance, and there's a heron, which is usually what means to, take things one step at a time, but it's flying. So it's like you're standing at this bank and you're looking across and you don't know how you're going to get across to this place of obviously union with this person. You know what I mean? Union. This signifies union, because wouldn't that kind of be what it would feel like to be with this person? So and the moon makes me think about manifesting. So you guys are both trying to manifest that. I feel like there's something that's going to happen here in this situation that's meant to be. I can't say yet if I can't really confirm whether or not this person is your twin, but I can, spread some light on some of this energy that's here in this relationship. This person's definitely a soulmate. I feel that deeply here. And this card's saying that, like, you need to spend some time near the water to kind of recharge. So this might be both of you guys, and a message to you specifically to kind of rest and rejuvenate and spend some time near the water, kind of relax. So, but all the water is making me think, emotions, a lot is coming up, and like this is coming up, emotions are coming up from the past. So maybe that's why you're reaching out for this reading right now, because there's a lot coming up, obviously. And you have to know that if there's a lot coming up for you, then there's a lot coming up for this person too. Obviously this person's going to be on your mind a lot, but if they've been on your mind a lot more than usual and it's random and hitting you out of the blue, it's probably because you're picking up that you're on their mind. So there's some mirroring going on here. This person's energy. So your twin's energy. The person you believe to be your twin, their energy. So they're at this place where they're really thinking about putting themselves out there in the world. They're wanting to move forward with their big plans. I think this person is kind of a humanitarian. They're someone that wants to help. They have very strong opinions. They might have very strong opinions about politics, whatever's happening in the world right now. And I don't know, like the flood's coming up. You guys been hearing about all the floods? I feel like maybe what's happening is really affecting this person deeply right now. Just as an empath, it's hard for it to not hit you, you know? Sometimes it can really stress you out and really make you upset, angry, or sad, or whatever, for whatever's happening, the tragedies in this world sometimes. So I feel like this person, I'm feeling into their energy at current, and they're a bit overwhelmed by that, but this card has a dual meaning. It's also like they want to help, and they're starting to realize that they have this call to some type of service, and they've really been spending a lot of time thinking, especially late at night. And I think that this card's talking more about you. You know, they've been thinking about you. It's like, it's kind of creepy. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this person thinks about you a lot. It's like, you see this owl is kind of like spying on this girl. It's like, he's thinking about you. He's kind of spying on you. He like, not in a bad way, but he's really starting to think about what action is required here, because he's thinking about getting out there. It's like his whole life he is under review right now, and that's kind of what Mercury retrograde does to you. It kind of puts your whole life under review. So he's really thinking about his whole life here and like the bigger picture, and he knows he needs to do something. He knows that he needs to make a step, or he wants more. He wants to create a different reality for him. Perhaps he does have this feeling of hope, you know what I mean? And I'm starting to say he. I was saying they for a while because I wasn't quite sure the gender of this person, but I don't know what their gender. I don't really feel gender. I feel just a very masculine energy. And so if this person is not male, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep saying he because I feel a very, very masculine energy, although it does not mean the energy here, okay? And whoever's watching, you know, gender doesn't matter. If you feel like you're one person or the other, just kind of take that for what it is. Let's see what your energy is. Oh my gosh! I just pulled this for the last person that I did a twin flame reading for. And yep, that's right. You're very, very dedicated to this path right now and to this person. And it's like you've tried so many different things and ways to kind of make this union happen. You might have told them how you felt before. I just feel like you feel like you've tried so much and so hard, and you're at this point where you're trying crazy things, like reaching out to a psychic to see like what's going on. Like, I'm just kidding, it's not crazy. I reach out to psychics whenever I'm like, what is happening here? I can't even. I mean, you know, I have all these cards and I have all this knowledge, but sometimes when it comes to my own personal life, I can be so clueless. So, it can help. It can help to kind of bounce things off other people. So, but what I'm seeing here for your energy is, you know, you've tried a lot of things and you're very dedicated to this, and you're gonna make this happen. I feel like that's the kind of person you are. You're like, I'm gonna make this happen. And you're very focused on this. But I think this is a message that's coming through to you. They're saying, hey, just so you know, you and your loved ones are safe and protected. So you might have a fear related to this relationship. You might be afraid, like, if this doesn't happen now, then I don't know when it's gonna happen. Or, you know, if I can't manifest this union, I don't know how I'm gonna, you know, have a stable home or life or whatever. I just think that it's hard for you right now. Part of the reason why you want to be with this person is because there is this part of you that does kind of feel like they're gonna solve a lot of your problems. And hey, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I have a partner, and them being in my life has solved a lot of my problems. But at the same time, you kind of realize after a while, like, that you're the only one who can really bring this love and this healing and, you know, to yourself. And you're the only one who can really solve your problems. So obviously being united with your twin or being in a relationship with someone, one that's healthy and that's like inspiring you and uplifting you is definitely going to help be the catalyst for your greatest good and help you to create a better life for yourself. But I think the point that they're trying to make here, just this, there's kind of a bit of advice coming through with the second card I pulled. It's just saying that you're safe and there is a way of being paid for you in this relationship. And you know, you get really insecure. Your emotions are really intense because you're an empath and because you're kind of an open heart. And so you can be at peace and you can be balanced and you can just like keep walking your path, but then there's times where you just get very overwhelmed and freak out. And so they're just trying to tell you, like, when you have those moments, just visualize like a white light around you, or sometimes I visualize roots growing out of my feet into the ground. It's just like part of grounding. Like, grounding will really help you not to get lost and carried away with your emotions, because your emotions are just going to hit you sometimes, and they're just going to come out of nowhere, and you're going to have emotions attached to certain thoughts that come through your head, and not everything you think you should really give your energy and attention to. So that's what they're saying here. You need to start thinking about what feelings you really want to give your energy and attention to. And if you're trying to manifest this union, then you need to start feeling a little bit more positive about it. And whenever you feel that fear and you feel overwhelmed, you know, balance yourself and, you know, take baths. And, you know, I go out in the sun and I like tan and I like meditate and like I sweat, and it really helps me. So just find your ways of calming and self-soothing. I talked about that for this readings weekend, and it's probably just because I'm in the collective right now. I'm just feeling this need for balance and kind of more time in the 3D, less time in your head, and more time spent in, you know, drawing or painting or making a nice dinner or spending time with your kids, family, stuff like that. Being in your body more, self-care, showering, exfoliating, you know, massage. Like, those are all things that are coming to my mind. So, sorry if you're hearing any screaming in the background. My parrot literally freaks out if I don't spend like the whole day with her, and I've been away for like an hour doing these readings, and I went and said hi to her, but she's like freaking out. So I'm gonna turn up the music. So let's get back into this. Interesting. I'm seeing some stuff come out right now. So, his feelings about union at present. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to see what their feelings are right now about union? Oh, snap. This is the twin flame card. This is the union card. Yeah. And then I get the start delegating card, which is really weird because, okay, I just sorted the decks and shuffled them, which I do after every single reading, and I pulled this card together for the last person I did a twin flame read for. So it's like weird. I'm like seeing these two cards together again, and I'm like, what's happening out there? What's going on with all you twin flames? What's up, you guys? This is it. You know, I think a lot of people were like, oh, August, there's union and the Lion's Gate and the eclipse, but like, this is going down now. We're moving into September. This is going down now. So, in my last reading, this card was reversed, but I see it upright, and I'm like, this means they're getting ready. They feel good about this union. They want this union. They're thinking about doing it. They're finding ways. They might be rehearsing the speech in their head, kind of thing. You know, planning it out. So I wonder if that's why you're reaching out. Are you like wondering what's happening here? If they're not seriously planning it, then they're definitely thinking about it and fantasizing about it. I do see this cloud here. The person might be a bit confused about what they want, but ultimately, like in their heart, because they're pointing to their heart, they know they want this. So that's their feelings about union. What are your feelings about union? I feel like you know that there's a greater force at work here in this relationship. You see the bigger picture, and you're just kind of chilling. Like, you're waiting. You're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen here, but you feel safe. It makes me wonder, like, perhaps you guys have had... Hang on. I'm seeing something come to mind here. There's a lot of laughter between you guys. I think that's why there's like this positive energy coming out, and it's why you're feeling so confident. Like, obviously you've reached out for this reading, and you're wanting some insight here, and there's all this emotion and intensity, like I said. A lot of these cards are pointing to your need to like balance and kind of get grounded and, you know, remember how you're safe and keep focused here. But, you know, they want this union, And it's like, you're feeling very confident here because it says you are supplied for today and all your tomorrows. Perhaps there have been some other issues that have come up in your life that have taken your focus recently. Maybe there were some financial issues that just recently happened, or perhaps you're focused on building your wealth right now. And so it's like you want this union, but 100% of your focus might not have been on it. But very, very interesting. Your feelings about union are like, this would be bliss. You would feel so safe. That you would be 100% cared for, and you wouldn't have to worry anymore. That's kind of how you feel about it. You feel like this is the answer, Maybe that's why they were trying to say earlier that you have to remember that, like, you are taken care for on your own, and stay dedicated to providing for yourself. It's going to be okay. And start to tap into this feeling right now. If you're trying to manifest this, it's all about how you feel. So you have to tap into the feelings of this right now. This is how you feel about union. Try to find a way to feel like this now on your own, in your own life. And that's a really magnetic energy. It's very powerful. Maybe it will help give this person more confidence to come forward. What he knows that you don't. What does he know that you don't? Let's get into this. Oh. Okay, so you don't really realize how big of a transition time this is for them in their life. Things are very different now. There is a lot of darkness. You see all the darkness and kind of the death here. And I also see a time of solitude. Like, there was a time where this person was very, very alone. Perhaps they've been away and alone. This kind of wheel here on the sail represents the wheel of the year. And so it means that the wheel of the year is turning. And I use that term a lot on this channel because I try to remind people that how life is a cycle and how everything in nature is on a cycle. And like, we're connected to nature and we're not immune from that. So, it kind of helps give people hope whenever, like, there's horrible things happening in your life. Like, change is going to be inevitable. Eventually you'll make it out of there. If nothing else, have hope for that. And I feel like that's where he's at. Finally, there's some change headed his way and the wheel has turned and he's headed to a lot more positive time in his life. So, you don't know that because of that, he's feeling a little bit more bold. He's actually kind of he's a brand new version of himself that you might not be 100% acquainted with because of these things he's been through. So, the Lynx is the secret keeper, and it's like sticking out to me. It's making me think that there are definitely some things you're not supposed to know about this person and what's happening here. So the energy, you're not able to tap into it. I think you aren't aware of how psychic you are when it comes to this person. And maybe in general, maybe you're kind of a bit clairvoyant as well. And so you're at this moment not really able to tap into this, and so that's obviously why you're asking me to do it. But the reason that not a lot isn't coming out for you on this is because you're kind of not meant to know. But what is coming out is that he's in this transition. He's a lot different. It's like you're supposed to know that he's changed, and maybe it'll help you kind of be more open to what's going to come through in this situation. Like, he's a lot different now. What you know that he doesn't. So, I guess that you're a lot more peaceful now. Perhaps the last time you talked to this person, you were kind of a mess, or you were kind of like not really grounded, or perhaps in the best place, or there was a lot happening around you. You were having a lot of struggles, but now you're at this place where you're very well taken care of. You've done like some inner child work. It makes me think perhaps you've done a little bit of crafting, or like expressing of yourself. You've spent a little time maybe outside. There's like a playful energy coming through, so it's like you're a little bit happier now perhaps than the last time you saw this person. So it's like they may not be aware of just how much you've changed too, and how more peaceful you are, because things can change overnight. We all go through different cycles and seasons in our lives. There's times where we're crazy and we're like a mess and like we're upset and we're going through like a grieving process or something. And then there's times where, you know, a lot of opportunities are coming through and we're super successful and we're just nailing it. We're getting things done. Maybe we're getting awards, we're getting recognized. You know, and then there's times of growth where you're working super hard and you're learning new things and you're filling your head with knowledge and you're expanding, you're growing, and you're changing. I mean, life is just this huge evolution. We're all evolving. You know what I mean? So I feel like they might hold you in your mind as this person, but like maybe since they've changed so much, they're gonna start opening to the fact that you've changed too, and they might not know the full story. So what else do you know that they don't? They just don't know that things are way better for you now, and that you're kind of out of that hard time you were in, and you're much stronger now, and there's a lot more abundance in your life. So it kind of repeats this message. Very interesting. Very interesting. What does the path look like if you make a move? What does the path look... Oh. What does the path look like if you don't? Okay, this is very, very similar to what I just got in the last twin flame reading, but there's definitely a twist to it. Okay, so we tapped into this person's energy and we see that they want to do something about this. You know what I'm saying? But when I ask, should you go for this? I'm seeing, yeah, the romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. So if you go for this, it'll probably work out well. This is like the karma card, has to do with judgment. I think it's just saying like this is meant to be. Like this is a sign. Like this person is definitely supposed to be in your life in this romantic way. This is a connection for sure. And especially because I'm seeing that's their feelings about union. But if you don't reach out, it's saying you are going to be a bit sensitive. You know, you're probably going to still be stuck in this cycle of worrying about it. There'll be times where you feel more grounded, times where you feel more emotional. But they're trying to tell you, if you decide not to do anything and to just wait, to try to just have fun and be playful and just kind of relax and let things flow, because in the end you're going to end up really happy. This is the celebration card. Maybe they're even saying like if you can spend time with your girlfriends and stuff like that and try to get out there and you know, being around a lot of women, the right women who are, you know, positive and uplifting, not ones who gossip and are drama, but uplifting women can be very, very healing, and it can give you a lot of confidence and energy. So, you know, maybe you have some people like this in your life. If not, you know, definitely look for ways to get out there. There's a lot of apps and stuff like for meetups and where you can join certain groups. You can even try joining like a spiritual group or something, but just be really careful. Sometimes people can be crazy in spiritual groups, you know. You know, when a lot of people who are going through healing get together, sometimes not everybody's the nicest person because of what they're going through, if that makes sense. So I always caution people, trust your gut. You know, I've heard of some people who gather together spiritually and it's like the best thing ever, and it's once again, it's got to be the right people. So I just feel like you're being called to kind of like be more playful and get out there and make friends and celebrate, and that could be a way to kind of manifest this situation and kind of get some confidence and inner strength up. Because if you don't say anything, it might eat you alive a little bit, not in a bad way, but it's going to be this anticipation. And so you're going to be very sensitive during that process, and you might just need to be distracting yourself. So it's really up to you. You have to look at these cards and think about what this means to you, and perhaps look up the symbolism of the otter animal totem to see, kind of feel into that and think like, how do you feel? Because this is the path if you do reach out and like, you know, confess your feelings and make a move, and this is the path if you don't. So So far, I'm seeing this celebration card, and I'm kind of thinking this might be something that the energy is pointing more to, but it's very, very neutral. I will be honest, very neutral here. So this is your decision, you know? It's always your decision. I don't make choices for people. And you always trust your gut first. His feelings. So what's up with this? Okay, so this makes sense. Okay, this is gonna be the biggest insight here in this whole reading, okay? This guy has been through a really hard time. I've been saying that for a lot of people. I think it's just being really reflected right now because of this Mercury retrograde. It's bringing a lot of stuff up. People are, you know, they're reflecting back on their life and their past, and a lot of us are heading into this new season, September, you know, and we're thinking about starting fresh. And this card talks about someone getting out of like a winter cycle in their life. Not like an actual winter, but like a personal, emotional, spiritual winter where things might have been hard. They might have been down on themselves. They could have been depressed. There could have been a grieving process. There could have been maybe a struggle in the situation, in an external situation. But it's like he is finding his footing now. So he's finding his footing, and so he's looking out, you know, and thinking like, okay, where do I want to go next? Because this bird is, you know, here, the snow is thawed, and now it can finally fly, you know, and it can be free, and it can kind of think about where it wants to go next, and go build its nest, and, you know, go have babies and all that stuff. So yeah, that's actually really interesting. It's like nesting is coming to mind. Like this person's starting to think about nesting, you know, about family, about home, about a partner. But ultimately, I get this boundaries card. So this person, right, it says, love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. I think this person was surrounded by a lot of people in their life that it was hard for them to have boundaries with. And now for them, it's a little bit later in life, and they're very cutthroat with who they give their time and their energy to. Like they're really, really cutthroat about that. So they're not just, even with you, they're not, you know, they're very isolated right now. And I don't see this as a bad thing. I just think it's necessary, and their job is coming to mind. I'll be honest, something about their job, and they just have a one-track mind. So this person doesn't seem like the kind of person who's really able to juggle like this whole twin flame thing with their work. And so it's like they've almost put it on the back burner because there was a lot going on around them. But now they're starting to kind of perhaps think about it a little bit, but they're still in this phase of having boundaries. They're not really allowing themselves to think about this, which is really amazing that they have that amount of mental strength, I have to say. Because I'm sure that they feel this connection. But I think this person knows. They're very smart, they're very wise, they're very intelligent. It says, there is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. So you got to get on this person's level, you know? Have boundaries with how much you're thinking about this and obsessing with it. And try to have peace and get into that space of like everything's happening in the perfect time, and just trust and be open. Because this might take some time. You know what I mean? Like, let me pull another card. Let me pull a clarifier for his feelings from my personal deck. Because this is weird. It's like his feelings. I just think that this is a very logical person. They're not going to allow their emotions to cloud their judgment, and they might even be a bit afraid, you know, because they have very strong feelings for you, because this is how they feel about union. So like I said, his feelings for you, his feelings for union, it's like he wants this, you know. But for you right now, he's like, if I allow myself to think about this all the time, like, I'm seriously not going to get anything done. I need to get my life together. I need to get some stuff. I need to focus. Like, I need to get my, you know. Does that resonate? So let's see, one more card for his feelings. So interesting. What? I'm like, this is so weird. This is like the weirdest placement ever. All these cards. This is such a unique person. I can see them in my head. I can see this person. I wonder if they're tall. I kind of see like this tall person. It's very interesting. It could just be their energy though, like, intense energy. But yeah, this person's very calm. You know, they're very intense, but they're very calm. They're very sophisticated, and they're very like put together. And so I'm thinking that this person has a lot of passion for you, because that's what purple is. Purple is basically, you know, it's passion and energy mixed with calmness and sophistication. Because that's red, you know, and blue. Passion, energy, and calmness and sophistication. So they have very passionate feelings about you, but they're able to kind of prioritize and be calm and be very mature and be very adult. And this person's like goals. Twin flame journey goals. Maybe that's why your union's getting closer, is this person's really holding that energy. They're holding a very strong energy here, calm. They're holding space for it by having these boundaries, you know? So boundaries aren't a bad thing. They're good. It's helping him get his stuff done and get his lessons and stuff so he can manifest this union. So one more card. Advice from Spirit. So now that you know all this, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do with this? You know? What do you need to really be aware of here? They're saying, be aware that there is a huge transformation happening around you. And also, this is so bizarre, you might want to go watch the reading that I post before this one, because there's a lot of mirroring in this reading than there was to the last one, because the last card that I pulled for the last person was the butterfly card about transformation. So I think collectively, this is what's happening with twins. If anyone else is watching this and you're a twin flame, or you're like wanting a love reading or a soulmate reading or whatever you want to call it, there's just a lot happening here. So they're saying you're experiencing change, which brings blessings. Maybe this is coming out in your advice because you're really nervous about all this change, because change can really trigger our ego, like that reptilian part of our brain, like our fight or flight. Sometimes we can it can make us very nervous and we start to panic, but a lot of times, you know, things are shifting and changing because it's bringing you closer to what you've asked for. It's bringing you closer to a better version of your life and of yourself. You don't have to assume that the changes are bad. So they're just like, be happy about this. And then look at, you get the blossoming card next to this. These are the only two cards in this deck that basically talk about change and blossoming. Similar to this transition card, but it has less of a negative undertone. It's, you know, you're just getting started. So they're like, you need to have patience here. This card might be coming out to tell you that you've got to wait a bit. This might be the very beginning of this journey with this person. There might be a lot of stuff that has to happen before you can manifest this union. Because, you know, remember, this person's in this transition and there's still kind of, there's stuff you can't know that's happening. There's a lot of healing happening around them. They're getting strong and confident, you know, but it just seems like in this person's life, there's a lot of shift. One more advice card for you. I'm just going to read this one to you. This is a cool card. It goes along perfectly with these two. It says, open new doors, do new things, keep moving forward. Curiosity will lead you down new paths. So continuous effort is the key to unlocking your potential. It takes desire and passion to continue to move forward towards your goals. So they're saying, take some time to think about if you're really acting from your heart. Is your head ruling so things are getting a bit out of control? Or are you just like overthinking and worrying and obsessing? That's what people tend to do with these twin flame and romantic relationships. I've done it. You have to take a step back and center yourself, because that's the most important thing here, is your peace, you know? Approach the situation from a spiritual perspective and see what your next step is, or if you're supposed to wait and have patience. So this is the last message for you. They're saying the next step, they're kind of wanting to, they want you to go inside. They want you to make your decision on what you're going to do with this. And they want you to use more of a spiritual perspective. So think about the bigger picture of your life and like what this person really means to you. And you need to think about the lessons that you feel like have repeated in your life, especially when it comes to love. And think about if there's something different that you're supposed to do this time. You know, these are things only you can really answer on the inside. I have stuff that's coming out. I've got some connections, you know, I can channel some information to you, but ultimately, I think with this reading, it's a huge message to you that there is some action being called of you. The action is either you need to surrender and be passive here and trust and have faith and hope, or you're being called to take a step, you know? And only you can know that. You gotta really trust your gut. So if you after this reading you're still like, well, I don't know if I should do it or not, then perhaps try meditation, you know? Put on some nice music and lay on your bed and take some really deep breaths and imagine yourself just walking on a beautiful path to a park or something. And then sit down at the park bench and imagine the future you walking up and they sit next to you. And take some time to let your imagination play with this and fill in the details and like what would they look like and sound like and all that stuff, and what perfume or whatever would they be wearing, how would they have their hair done. And then once you feel like you're really there, just take a deep breath and ask them, you know, what should I do? Like, what should I do in this situation? And just listen. And if nothing happens, then just sit there and meditate and come to peace and relax. And continue to do that meditation until you get some information. If you don't ever get any information, maybe you're not meant to. Maybe you're just being called to meditate and show yourself out. So a lot of times while I've got people here doing these readings, a lot of other messages will come through for like stuff you need, like with your health and your personal life. So that's definitely a huge message to you to meditate, I'm feeling. But try that meditation and definitely let me know what you think. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes when I'm having a really tough time making a decision, because I used to be very codependent and I used to always like go ask everyone I don't know, not everyone I knew, but like all these people, like what should I do and stuff. And I learned over time that when you make decisions based off of what other people say and instead of really trusting your gut, then it backfires and you end up unhappy and you end up kind of resenting people for that. So, you know, you really want to make this choice from your gut and you really want to make sure it's you. And I think in this, it's very important. Sometimes in these cards, I will be told clearly yes or no. So I will get answers like yes or no. You should do this or you should do that. But what I'm getting for you is this need to turn to yourself right now and to connect back within. And it can be as simple as just a little meditation or just asking yourself a question and like letting that answer come instead of forcing it or thinking, what should I do? It's not about should. It's about what do you want? Like, what is your inner truth? Like, what is your soul calling for? And, you know, it's hard for us to get those answers sometimes when we're just running everywhere in this crazy society. What the heck? Why do people have to work 40 hours a week? That's insane. And like, why, like, I could just go on and on about like the weird, sometimes I just think society is just so weird how it works, and it can be overwhelming for some people. Other people love it. Other people love certain aspects of society and it works for them. But I just kind of feel like for you, there's like your job's overwhelming or your life, there's something about your life, your schedule's a bit overwhelming. It's hard. You don't want to lay down and meditate. You don't even want to stop and take a deep breath. And look, I can only recognize that in your energy because I get like that a lot, where I'm stopping and taking a deep breath is hard, or even just resting can be hard. I feel like you're kind of a go-getter, but you have come to peace. And this is the most important thing right now, is to maintain this. And just know that your vibe is going to attract into your life whatever you're putting out there. So if you're putting out this peace and this tranquility, it's like a very open, receptive energy. It's going to draw a lot to you. So if my advice to you for this situation really is to just focus on your peace, specifically your peace. For some people, I'm going to say their self-esteem or maybe taking action. But for you, I think it's very personal here. It's about peace and like meeting your inner child's needs. There's some work you have to do on yourself alone first before this union can manifest. And if you want a shortcut, it's right here. Peace, playfulness, happiness, healthy foods, lots of water, and meeting your inner child's needs. And if you're like, what the hell does that mean? My inner child, what? Then Google it and YouTube it. See what other people have to say about how to help your inner child and what that whole concept is about. It's so amazing. I'm learning so much about that, and helping meet my inner child's needs has been awesome. Some of us, maybe our needs weren't met in childhood, and it's why we freak out so much when it comes to romantic relationships, and it's why we get so lost and confused, and it can be why we feel so desperate for these connections. And a lot of times the answer is to just give yourself that love, give your inner child that peace, and let it know that it's safe. And then, strangely enough, when you feel safe, you start attracting a lot into your life, because your safety is connected with your root chakra. And your root chakra, if it's blocked up, it makes it really hard for you to manifest things. But if you're feeling safe and you're feeling protected, your root chakra is kind of cleared out, it's easier for you to manifest things. Do you kind of see how that all goes together? This is going to help you get into alignment and be able to manifest this way across. You take care of yourself and your inner child. All right? I hope this reading helps you, and if anyone else heard this and likes it and you want your own personal reading, then hit me up. These are the last 2 days of my $11.11 personal readings, and there's information in the description below. Peace out.